My study was a technical study, computer science, which I think was actually even all male. I'm not even sure there was any other women in that study. And from then on, I had technical jobs in the beginning where my colleagues were men and my customers were men, and by primarily they still are men in the customers I go to. So I adjusted to learning to adapt in that world and be successful in that world. So I'm not sure what I did. That's something I still have to figure out. There's negatives to doing that, right? So adjusting to the man's corporate world means we're not being authentically ourselves, because that's not the way the corporate world in the technical world is run. So you're not able to 100% be your authentic self. And when I realized, hey, that's not right, there is actually a gender diversity issue on the table that I didn't realize was there. Now it's fun, because now I can actually come out and say, wait a second, I can help change that game and be myself, which influences others to be themselves, and then we get more of the diversity out there. But I didn't know diversity was an issue, to be honest, and I feel ashamed about that actually, but I have to admit that and now take my part in fixing it. It wasn't talked about. When I started working 25 years ago, we were not talking about diversity or issues like that in the technical world I was in, at least. So I think it's been a great journey to figure out that there's a problem and that I can be part of the solution as well. Yes, boy, that's a really good question around fear and vulnerability, because it is. I think it is real. It depends on the company you're working for, the culture, and the people around you, how safe of an environment it is. I have an advantage at the company I work for that we are talking about this every day, and one of the themes is psychological safety. We are talking about how to create an environment where we can be ourselves, where we can be courageous, where we're allowed to fail and allowed to be vulnerable and take risks and be our authentic self. And I can imagine that doesn't work so easily if you're at a company where that's not the theme, and you have to break through those walls and take even more risk in doing that. So I think all we can do is take our part and try to make sure these themes are talked about. And if they are in your company, then grab that and really be the one who's going to talk about that as much as you can, and help make that change. And I think that goes for men and women, of course, because what you really see is that we talk about this as a topic for women. The men have it equally or potentially even more, but I'm going to make some judgmental statements now, but they hide it because they just don't talk about it. So they don't talk about the problems they're having at home, the fact that they do want to be home more often as a father. They have the same issues we have. We want to be at home more as a mother, they want to be at home more as a father, but they're not going to talk about it. So it's the mask that they wear, which women wear as well, but I think women are now talking about taking down that mask and having the courage to take it down. And I actually think we're gonna have to do some more work to have the men take down that mask. But the women are showing the way, are leading the way in that. If I see a panel at work with men and women, I can see the women really opening up, and then you see the men going, this is good. I'm gonna also talk about some of my family issues at home or some of my personal issues and how that's affecting work, and you see them opening up more, so we can be the leaders in changing that. So this is one of the subjects of today was how to achieve personal balance in your life. Personal balance being different from work-life balance, but really how you can feel balanced as a whole person, and help your teams have that balance. Because of course, if you have a balanced team, you're going to be able to do more together as a team. So achieving personal balance, only one part of that is career. And for some people, that's a very small part. And for some people, that's a very big part. But in balance, we see that as 4 sort of quadrants, right? So career is a part of your balance. Well-being is a part of your balance. Purpose, what is your purpose in life? Your legacy that you want to leave behind? And what are your financial goals? And if you can define those 4 aspects in your own personal plan, and you make sure that you're living up to those aspects, then you're going to feel more balanced. Because if one of them gets out of balance, let's say you're thriving in your career, but you're leaving behind your well-being, you're going to know it because you've got yourself a plan and you've committed to that plan personally. And that's going to help you check and balance yourself, whether you're really living up to your values and to your own definition of balance, because it's your own definition. It's nobody else's definition.